Well, on this Monday, we are continuously tracking the extreme heat. We just will not see anything let up from Mother Nature over the next 48 hours. So temperature-wise, well, we are starting off just shy of 80 in a lot of locations. City Airport 79, Mount Clemens has dropped to 78, but it was up until just about 15 minutes ago that they were holding on to 81 degrees. 76 at Metro Airport, 77 in Pontiac. So it is a warm overnight into the early morning hours. Yesterday, we did crack 90, in fact, hit 94, 4 degrees shy of the record of 98. Today will be the third day in a row that we get into the 90s, but we have a better shot at breaking the record today. So current record stands at 95, and we're forecasting 97 for the afternoon high. So the record as it stands was set more than 100 years ago, and we are on pace to break that. Now, tomorrow's forecasted high is 94, so we'll probably be shy of the record high of 97, but nonetheless, extreme heat continuing. Wednesday, new model data coming in, dropping these low temperatures, or high temperatures, I should say, into the 80s, and so we'll be well off from the record. 86 the forecasted high, but there are some models even dropping that as low as low 80s. So it'll be a nice break from what we've been stuck in. But extreme heat alerts until 8 o'clock on Tuesday include the extreme heat warning for the heart of the metro area and heat advisories into the outlying areas. The heat risk for today: all areas in red, which include the thumb down towards about I-94, under a major risk for heat-related illnesses. You get south of I-94, and we're talking extreme heat risk. If you're spending prolonged amount of time outside, if you're going to be overexerting yourself, and definitely want to stay hydrated. So hourly forecast 97 degrees for that high under sunny skies, and then you pair it with the humidity, and that's why it's going to feel like we are into the triple digits with the heat index. Heading out to the Ford fireworks, well, by 6 o'clock, we're still well in the 90s, 94, 91 at 8 p.m. And then once we get closer to sunset, we'll be in the upper 80s, but it's still going to feel like we're well into the 90s. At least it'll be a dry one, but it wouldn't hurt to take an umbrella if you're going to be in downtown Detroit during the peak heat of the day with that sun beaming over you, just to protect you from the sun. So as far as protecting yourself from the heat and sun, you want to drink plenty of water, freeze some water bottles before you head out and put those in the cooler. Avoid alcohol. Apply your sunscreen every 2 hours, which should be SPF 30 or greater. You want to wear loose, lightweight, light-colored clothing and take regular breaks in the shade. Now, once we get past the extreme heat, we're also going to be talking about severe risk. So tomorrow and even going into Wednesday, we're looking at a marginal risk for some severe storms across portions of southeastern Michigan. So a quick look at the model data for you. Clear today, but once we get to Tuesday afternoon after about 1 or 2 o'clock, now we're starting to see some of those scattered storms firing off, and they will persist into the evening, even going into the overnight. So forewarned weather alerts will continue for the first half of the week. Storm chances for the remainder of the week with highs in the upper 80s.
So great is, obviously if you're going to be out at the fireworks, there's trees or different things that you can try and seek shelter, or even like the fountains at Hart Plaza.
And the frozen bottle of water.
Simply having an umbrella,
right, just to protect you from the sun, because we were talking about how the humidity makes it feel warmer, but then think about baking in the sun on top of it.
Yeah.
So it'll probably feel even warmer than what that heat index is if you're in that sun.
I just can't believe.
Well, thanks.
Sunscreen, and yes,
thanks for that expert advice. Take it from him. All right, so here's a look at those high temperatures today versus what it's going to feel like out there. So 97, the forecasted high at Metro Airport. If we hit 95, we tie the record high, but we will be on pace with breaking the current record as it stands. In fact, with these temperatures today, this is likely the warmest day of this heat wave that we are in. So if you thought yesterday was oppressive, just wait until this afternoon. And I think that 102 or 103 is even underplaying what that feels like temperature will be. It's probably going to be closer to about 105 as far as the heat index. And so let's talk about the yin and the yang, because we're under this dome of heat across the Great Lakes, where we're sitting in the upper 70s right now. But check out with the jet stream, this cold snap that's off to the west. So a tale of two different stories. Denver right now at 55, even San Francisco 52. So much cooler conditions off west. We're not that far off from Phoenix, Arizona right now. Temperatures are in the 70s across the area, and they'll continue to tick upward. We're just shy of 80 at City Airport and Mount Clemens, but we're coming off 2 days where we hit at least 90 degrees. We average 13 of those type of days throughout a year. Last year, we were very much on average 14 days. Well, I think that we'll end up with 4 in a row when it's all said and done. Looking at the almanac data, yesterday we hit 94, 4 degrees shy of the record, but 12 degrees warmer than the average high. Speaking of records, like I said, we're likely going to make one today. 97 is the forecasted high, which would break the over 100-year-old record. 94 forecasted tomorrow, which would come up shy of that record of 97, and will be about 20 degrees cooler than the record high for Wednesday. That's because we're bumping down that low to 86 degrees, which is still a little above the average high, but certainly improvement from where we've been. Extreme heat alerts, well, that warning continues across Macomb, Oakland, Wayne County. Advisories in orange in the outlying areas. The heat risk, though, north of I-94 major and extreme south of I-94 for today, which means those heat-related illnesses are likely if you don't take the proper precautions like staying hydrated and trying to limit your activity outside, but also check on your pets. You don't want them stepping on the sidewalk too long. It'll burn their paws. 97 under sunny skies today. We'll feel a whole lot warmer. We're still cooking right around 97 at 6 o'clock this evening. So if you're heading out to the fireworks, just note that even after sunset, that heat index will likely be well into the 90s. So drink plenty of water, avoid alcohol, and then during the daylight hours, you want to apply that sunscreen every 2 hours because there will not be a cloud in the sky. Marginal level 1 risk for severe weather really the next 2 days. And so today we will be clear, but we will definitely have the chance for some scattered storms to develop after about 1 o'clock tomorrow, and that's going to persist off and on throughout the afternoon and evening, even into Tuesday night going into your Wednesday morning. So marginal risk for them to reach severe limits. Otherwise, chances for storms will linger to round out the week, but temperatures will be in the upper 80s.